All right, folks, if you're getting this when it comes out, that is to say on Friday, December 6th, please come see me as Trey Magnifique in Boston on this day, on Friday, December 6th, and in New York on Saturday, December 7th. You can get tickets at TreyMagnifique.com. I also have a new holiday EP, which is now available on gleaming white vinyl. You can get that at TreyMagnifique.com as well. No video episode for the show this week. We recorded really early and did not feel camera appropriate. So sorry about that, but you can get, the minis and all the usual stuff at patreon.com/late night. This is a really fun episode. Enjoy it. All right, we're here, and it's early.
It's early. It's, in fact, early morning.
We never do this early unless we have a UK person or a European person.
Which hasn't been in a long time.
Although, actually, I'm in the process of booking somebody who is on Central European time.
Oh, is it someone who we've seen recently?
No, it is not, actually. That person would be on UK time. But centrally, this is a new guest. But it's who the connection is the person you're thinking of.
Oh, okay.
You don't know who this person is, probably.
All right, amazing. I love people I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I figured. For the next year, it's just going to be a bunch of middle-aged men you don't know.
So the previous 4 years of the show.
Yeah, I figured, we're moving into another Trump administration, so why not elevate men?
Hey, do you remember when we, for the first year of the show, didn't do lemons? And we were like, if Joe Biden gets elected, we'll do lemons again.
Yeah. Well, we're going to keep doing lemons.
Yeah, which is great because I think, I was doing my typical pre-episode, jotting down my thoughts. And I think my only lemon is under an NDA.
Okay, fair enough. Well, that can be your lemon if you want. That we just bleep 2 minutes of it's just a loud, annoying sound.
But
for 2 minutes.
It's covering up me screaming incoherently.
Mm-hmm. I had a thing yesterday. So as we talked about on a recent mini, Audrey has been swearing. Mm-hmm. And yesterday, as a joke, let me preface, she called me motherfucker. And it took literally every ounce of strength I had to not say, honey, you're the only person that can accurately use that word.
Well, good on
that
you
would have
for
started
not.
A whole thing that I don't even want to get into.
Yeah, I may have taught your daughter to put the C in fuck, but
well, I like to think that I was the first person to really put the C in fuck.
You invented that.
Yeah, it's the way I do it.
Yeah, FUK is more of like an East Coast thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, when she dropped that, I was like, there's so many jokes I could be making right now. And I can't say any of them because it's truly inappropriate in front of my daughter.
Yes, who's already calling you a motherfucker.
Yes, and I don't want to encourage any questions that might result from me making jokes out of this.
Yeah, she got into like a strain of whys when we were talking about things, and I forget.
Oh, not an uncommon occurrence.
Oh, she was like, what's woke? Oh, by the way, because she doesn't listen to this show, I can say that.
Let's hope not.
I talked to. Sorry, my dog's yawning. Are you? Are you bored?
I could. You know what? I could pinpoint that as a dog yawn unambiguously. Yeah.
She hates it. This dog hates podcasting. You don't want to hear a woman's voice in podcasting, do you? But I talked to Rachel about Christmas gifts for Audrey, and I got her some nice Prismacolor colored pencils and a couple of other drawing
texted
things.
A picture of that, maybe.
I don't think I did.
Maybe, I don't know.
Question mark.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Thank you. She'll love them. As you know, she's very into art. Actually, that octopus she drew, I think it's like legit good.
Yeah, I think her understanding of like the different, you know, the spatial presence of the tentacles going over each other and stuff.
Yes, very cool.
Yeah, I love that for her. That's an age where I was really getting into it, and similarly doing the exact same thing of putting big sparkly anime eye reflections on everyone,
Yep.
because I saw a cool older girl who always drew anime stuff when in my
awesome.
theater my theater camp.
Here's a question for you, and I'm very curious about this. Would you say that as a young child, let's say under 10, you showed, and interpret this as you will, artistic talent?
Yeah.
Yeah. So your drawing skills were like markedly better than other kids, and that's something you noticed and knew about yourself.
Yeah, for sure. But I didn't start doing it seriously or taking it seriously until middle school when I discovered DeviantArt. Great website.
Yeah. Well, see, yeah, because this is interesting, right? You know, a lot of it can be. What's interesting about Audrey, and as a parent, like I look at her drawing and I'm like, wow, she's really getting better. And we do nothing but encourage. And if she's interested in it, that's the most important thing. I'm curious, like how the development versus innate talent thing, because I wouldn't say that as a kid I had like an innate musical talent. I still don't think of myself as a particularly talented musician. I can get by, but I'm not one of these prodigies. You know, I wasn't like playing by ear, you know, shit at 10 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
I think I'm a fine musician who can get by, but I was not the kid who was doing crazy shit as a young child. I just had an interest and pursued it and got better at it. As I maybe have said on the show, I think of myself more as someone who has very good taste in music rather than someone who's actually good at music.
That's
so I know what I like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. As much as I want to be like, that's crazy, nobody thinks that but you, I know that I feel the same way about my own career paths, and you would say the same thing to me. So
yes, that's exactly right.
Cutting this argument off already.
But it is funny, you know, obviously as a parent, I'm very aware of, I am never going to say anything negative about anything Audrey does artistically, in terms of like, you know, I don't know anything about visual art, so I can't really offer any useful advice, but all I'm going to do is encourage it because it's awesome. And I love watching her draw, and that sounds creepy. I love her drawings, and I just want to encourage it. But it's very interesting to be in this like formative era of like, what's the talent versus the development, you know?
Yeah. And I think for me, like I was definitely always a little bit better at it, but I think maybe part of that is just that I was doing it from such a young, like, yeah. I think it is a lot of time and interest and energy that you have to put into it to cultivate that. You can't just have you know, I'm naturally good at this and I'm not going to do anything to develop it. It's in the same way that I feel like I've really stagnated artistically in the past couple of years just because I'm not drawing all the time. When I was in college, I was drawing all the time. When I was an art director, I was drawing all the time. And it's just kind of like skills that have atrophied, which I don't feel good about. But
are you the kind of artist you see an image in your mind and then try to get it on paper, or you just start doing stuff and whatever comes out, come out?
No, and I think that's part of why I'm not super great at it or as good as I want to be, because I can't, like, with 3D art, I'm visualizing something and I can make it, but with 2D art, I'm kind of following my hand, and I'm not really sure how to put those two processes together. And I think that the kind of art that I make is very different from the kind of art that I like. So there's now this really big skill versus like thematic or style gap where it's like I've been kind of doing the same thing artistically my entire life. And the stuff that I actually want to make or would be excited about, I just don't have as much experience with, which is a little daunting, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been so with a job that is not doing those things. But I say that like, you know, writing isn't its own art.
Right. That's right. It's just a different
Yeah. And, the past few years has been to writing and consulting, which are all similar.
Yeah. This is what drives me nuts about, I guess I will, well, I'm not saying anything bad here. People who are like, why doesn't Aaron animate anymore? It's like, he's interested in different stuff. It's not really anything deeper than that,
Also a very busy man, and animation takes so much time.
Yeah, well, also that, but still, like, that kind of thing totally negates the idea that one's interest, etc., can change, and that changing your interest is some kind of selling out or whatever the fuck it is. It's like, and Aaron just came to mind because I see this reaction. We posted a bunch of Star Bomb videos recently,
right? And
some of the comments are of this ilk. And it's like, this is the dumbest thing you could possibly say. Like, it's people get interested in different stuff as they grow older. And
also saying, like, I demand you make more of the art that you like, but I will disregard your own interest in making that art. Like, I care about the art. I don't care about you.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. The idea, people's tastes and artistic stuff changing over. Here's a question that I've been thinking about for maybe very obvious reasons that will become obvious as soon as I say the question. What is an artist who started, any kind of artist, visual, music, whatever, who started doing their best stuff middle age or beyond? Or maybe not best, but like was just as good as middle aged and up as they were as a young person. I'll put David Lynch out there, right?
Yeah,
like the stuff he was making in his, 50s and up, incredible. Maybe not Inland Empire, but like the, Twin Peaks: The Return, is maybe the greatest thing he ever did. And he was in his 60s, late 60s when he did it.
I feel like older, right?
Maybe older, maybe 70s, yeah. And you see this with directors for sure.
Yeah,
right?
I was thinking actors too, but for some reason I can't think of writers and artists as well, because I guess it's a little harder to delineate. Like, they were X years old when this happened.
Yeah, totally. I'm trying to think. Musicians, you definitely see this sometimes. Like, for example, this is almost a cliche. The Johnny Cash American recordings. This guy is like at a low point emotionally and puts out this like incredible like emotional stuff, which is arguably better than his his country heyday stuff.
Yeah.
And now that we are at an era where hip hop people are like actually old, which was not true for a while. Yeah. I'm very curious who's going to be like the old hip hop guy. And there are probably already examples of this that I just don't know, who's just like crushing it. And by old, I mean like 70 and up.
Sure. That's a good point. It's definitely, I think it's very easy with the pressure to be very successful, very young, that it's easy to forget about, just how many people don't do their big thing until way later.
100%. Yeah. And yes. And this is, a question I ask myself frequently is my biggest thing behind me? I'm sure you ask yourself the same question.
Indeed.
And I remember talking to Aaron about this many years ago, because the first Starbomb album did very well. And, then I was writing the second, and I was like, it was the only thing I'd ever done like that had been popular.
Right.
And, in retrospect, was not nearly as popular as NSP, et cetera, albums would be in the future. But still, that was the first, like, NSP hadn't sold shit at that point. This is 2013. That album comes out right after Dan joins Grumps, right. Or 6 months or whatever after. And we sell more albums than we ever have in our lives. And I remember writing the second one and just being like, how do you fucking do it? Like, and talking to Aaron, who is a person who had put out popular stuff and followed it up, right? And did more stuff. And the answer, which is the correct answer, is don't worry about it. Just do it. Just make the thing, and then whatever happens, happens, which is, I think, the only real correct answer.
Yeah, and I think getting very spoiled at 19 with big successful thing. That I'm glad for all of the opportunities that it has given me, but also like I think maybe most valuable to me right now, aside from all of the various like positive things that it did, is that it was very like creatively clarifying. And I think looking back, 7 or 8 years now, which is crazy to think about, that it feels like something a different person made. Like the creative sensibility of it is so different from like all the things I'm interested in making now. And I think that's cool. I think there is something strange about the like Arrested Development sort of like the thing that you made a long time ago being the big thing that people know you for.
Absolutely. That's right.
I don't know, looking at, I'm not going to critique Dream Daddy or whatever. Plenty of people have done it enough, and I do it enough in my head.
Well, actually, hold on. Let me pull up a document that I've been working on. And by document, I mean blog post.
Right, of course. It just, lots of different ways that I've grown. But like looking at something like that, which is so squeaky and wholesome, it's just so different from like what I want now and what my general ethos with creative stuff is. So I think it was very helpful in figuring out, like, I think so many of the choices there, at least from my end, came from like this deep people pleasy kind of desire of like, I want to make everybody happy. And realizing that in doing that created such a contentious atmosphere that, you can do everything, the way that you think will make people happy, and people will still flip shit over things. So
yes, I find this interesting about myself as well. I think, tell me if you agree with this. I think of myself as somewhat of a people pleaser, well, and a people pleasurer, of course. But generally, I try to make other people happy, and I will generally put other people's comfort above my own, but not artistically. Like artistically, I just, in a collaboration, yes, that element comes in there. But when I'm making my own stuff, when I'm making the Trey stuff, I am not really thinking about what other people are going to want to hear or enjoy. It is literally just like, is this going to be fun for me? Do I want to do this? Great. And it's interesting to me how my kind of core people pleasing and people pleasuring does not extend to, so I think you have something in your throat, you just grunted, does not extend to the artistic side as much.
Yeah, I think I'm very much in that place now. I mean, looking at something like Homebody, which I've talked to Jory so much about, where it's like, we could have compromised and made it a more mass appeal kind of thing, but it is a very, very specific story with a lot of specific indulgences that we wanted and that we were excited about. And it finds the people who will enjoy it. And that might mean less,
sales or whatever.
Yeah. But it's the thing that we wanted to make, and I'm really proud of it. And it's the thing that I would like to play. So I think that, trying to balance the mass appeal with staying true to doing things that you like. And I think my work in the corporate world is helping with that.
As CEO of Goldman Sachs.
Yes. Raytheon, pardon you.
Yeah.
But
I've got 2 Goldman Sachs, actually.
The Goldman
That's the reaction.
Sachs.
That is the reaction I want from all of my jokes.
Yeah, I know.
Grudging acceptance.
Yeah, there's 5 stages of grief about a joke. But in doing my kind of fenced in brand appropriate work, it just makes
corporate latent voice. This isn't, you know what? It's not something I feel like you break out that often on this show. You've done it twice in the last minute, and it's really good. It's really, I can hear you giving a seminar.
Thank you.
Voice.
I am.
Thank you, Raytheon customers, for coming to this informational meeting.
We love to support all of our employees from all across the spectrum. You too can bomb.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, I think that in kind of doing this segmented off little, very on wheels, very brand appropriate.
There it is. Well,
thing.
now you're really going for it, and I love it.
Thanks. Now that I'm doing that, it makes everything that I want to do in my spare time when I actually have energy, it makes it like 500% more unhinged, which is nice. Because it's like, I can't say fuck. I'm not allowed to say fuck. I have to go write something horrible now.
Do you want a standing call with my daughter where you two can just say fuck at each other for half an hour every day?
That would be great. I literally got nervous on a corpo call the other day because I referred to something like, we don't want to be dickering around. And I didn't mean it like dicking around, because dickering is a word.
It is absolutely a word.
But, I did have a moment of internal panic of like,
sure.
I can't, this isn't
No, there's some words because they're like false cognates.
Yes.
Cognates or cognates? How do you say that?
No clue.
I think I would have normally said cognates. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, that's a perfectly acceptable word that you should be allowed to say in any context.
Yeah, it's my right to say dickering as much as I want
now,
to. You know what?
I might have avoided the phrase deep dickering.
Define deep dickering.
Like a lot of dickering.
Sure. I
like
got a call.
Lot of dickering.
Of course. The
Rachel? I swear to God, I just heard Rachel say her usual dismissive, of course.
Before we got on this call, I got a spam call, but the name on the spam call was Richard Dixon, Dixon. So I got a call from Dick Dixon.
I love that.
Dick Dixon Esquire.
Does your phone, now you and I have different types of phones. I'm fully integrated into the Apple ecosystem, whereas you are a pagan. And do you get a thing where you think you're getting a call from a different country, but it's because it left off the +1? And it's like, I don't know what these appropriate country codes are, but instead of being like a 310 number, it looks like it's coming from a +31 country.
I have no idea. No.
This happens all the time to me. Like a call will be coming in, even from an LA number, and it's some country like all the way across the fucking world. And I'm like, or it says it is. And then I look at it, it's like, oh, no. That's just a 213 number. And it's interpreting it as +21, and then the first digit being 3.
I've literally never had this problem.
Happens to me all the time. I
get all my spam calls from North Carolina, so I see the 910 and I'm like, right, a real call from a real person. Totally.
Right. Yeah. Because sometimes you get I'm not going to pick these up, but sometimes it's exciting. It's like, oh my God, a call from Belgium. Whoa, cool. Oh, wait a minute. No.
Wow, there must be some sort of heir who wants to wire me all their money.
Yeah. Who did I just find out? There's some celebrity I was looking up who's from Luxembourg. Whoa. And I was like, who the fuck is from, like, that's a small country. If I'm famous,
isn't it the smallest?
No. There's microstates, your Andorra's, your Vatican City is the smallest country.
Oh, you're right. I'm a fool.
Yeah. List of Luxembourgers. Here we are.
Are they called Luxembourgers?
It's spelled Luxembourgers, but yes, that's what it is.
Burger.
Oh my. Who was I looking up? I should have. You'd think this link would be gray because I clicked on it. This is going to be interesting as I scroll through a Wikipedia page of many people from Luxembourg. Well, I can't find it. Look at that.
I saw a headline that says Luxembourg in its unbeatable charm, but I first read it as unbearable charm.
I'd love to go to one of these teeny tiny. I guess I've been to Vatican City. I was.
Oh my God, you're the one who put the bomb under the the chapel.
What can I say? I had some good collaborators. I can't take all the credit for that one. But so I guess I've been to Vatican City, but I've never been to, I don't know, San Marino, Andorra, whatever, the teeny tiny Liechtenstein, tiny microstates.
Andorra seems cool.
Yeah, cool location, right? Right in the Pyrenees. Fucking awesome.
Yeah, I watch a streamer who lives in
It sounds
Andorra.
Andorrable.
All right. That joke was horrible.
How do we get on this? I don't. Luxembourg.
Luxembourg.
Yeah, I don't know.
Celebrities from. I don't know. Welcome to Late Night with Brian Wecht, except it's 9 a.m.
Yes, and I am Brian Wecht, and this is Leighton Gray, and today is a busy day for me. I have a Très Magnifique show in LA tonight. I woke up, and I'll discuss this on my lemon, to a big, annoying inconvenience that now I got to fucking deal with. To the extent where I was like, should we postpone this recording? But no, we have to just get it done.
I'm sorry. I hate a big inconvenience, especially if I'm going to have a major inconvenience, I need it to wait until afternoon once my head on straight.
Yes, and this is definitely the kind of thing where it's like, I gotta deal with this now because I'll just say I got a flat tire.
No.
And it's like a very flat tire. It's like annihilated. So I had to go change the tire.
Oh my God.
Which I know how to do because I'm very, very good
man.
at my job. Yes. Well, I wasn't going to say it, but I am indeed a man. And I changed the tire. I put the donut on, and now I got to drive it in. It looks like it's just a puncture. I can see the nail sticking out of it. So hopefully they can just patch it and put the tire back on. But I still got to deal with it. And it's like, if I'm lucky, it's half an hour. If I'm not, it's longer.
Yeah, that is so annoying. And also tires, expensive.
Yeah, so this is why I hope it's the patch. If it's a patch, it'll be like $50 and then all good. If it's a new tire, it's going to be a couple hundred at least. So, yeah. But anyway, literally 5 seconds after I woke up, Rachel had been outside and she came in. She's like, guess what? And it's like not even the car is like leaning to one side, just totally flat.
Fuck.
Yep. But at least, we found it before I drove on it and fucked up the wheels or whatever.
Yes, that is true.
And there have been a few things actually where I've done the world's most minor home repairs and felt like a capital BM big man. And yep, that's right. You can call me capital BM. It's my new nickname now.
New book called IBM.
IBM. That's right. I mentioned the other day that I was in the process of fixing a toilet. Right? Do you remember this conversation?
Maybe.
We had a toilet issue. The toilet wouldn't stop running. And I diagnosed and fixed it. And it was not like a pull the little thing. It's like I had to drain it, take a part out, get a new part, put it in. It's a fill valve for those of you heads out there. And it's a very easy repair. Like, this is not, a big deal. But the fact that it was absolutely the problem, absolutely worked, and I did it, and I'll be frank, perfectly. Flawless toilet repair.
Wow.
I have never been so proud. I was just like, hell, I went to a hardware store.
Wow. Your natural habitat.
Yep, with all the other middle-aged guys in there. And how's it going? A lot of that. Hey.
I'm about to be elbow deep in my toilet.
Yeah, you want to join me? But I found the part I needed. I got it. I fixed it. Toilet fucking fixed.
Yeah, that's a very satisfying fix to make. I actually need to do this again because I am having the same problem, and I've done it before, and it's easy.
It is easy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you get to play in toilet water. It's the best.
Oh, yummy, yummy toilet water. Some people, and this is an unpopular opinion, would say more delicious than human piss. But I don't know. I disagree. It's good. No one's saying it's not good. Everyone loves to drink toilet water.
If you did like a blind taste test with LA tap water and water from the toilet.
Oh, I think I could. Could I tell? Is that the question?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I could tell. Toilet water's got that stank.
Yeah.
My favorite drink actually is a toiletini, which is toilet water, urine, and olives. And it goes down smooth. That's all I'm going to say about it.
It comes out smooth too.
That's right. Well, you don't want to use your own because that's just double dipping.
That's how you get the olives in.
Yeah. Well, and also if you can produce the olives with your own body, then you're really you're in rarefied air.
Dude, if you were given the magical genie wish of you can get olives at any time from your own body, where would you pick to grow them?
They grow. They don't expel, huh?
Yeah, I know.
Let's see. That is a good question, isn't it? I feel like it's got to be someplace somewhat unobtrusive. And if they keep growing, oh my, this is a good question. I probably like your shoulder or something, right?
Ooh, because then it's a fashion statement also.
Yeah,
ooh, your clavicle.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that would like fuck up sleeping.
That's true.
No matter how you do it, it's going to be a pain in the butt.
Yeah, but if you're ever in a survival situation, you'd be sitting pretty with a bunch of olives.
Till you die of high blood pressure because of all the salt in the olives. Well, I guess that's after they're prepared, right?
I guess I'm saying it like they're growing as if off a plant, off your body, but they're not like that off of the bush.
No,
you gotta
that's right. You got to prepare them. No one eats raw olives. You ate a raw cranberry the other day.
I did. It made me feel like a squirrel.
Uh-huh. And they're gross.
And then I ran into traffic.
Have I ever told you my favorite squirrel story?
No.
I need to take a drink.
Audible swallow.
Yeah, hold on, I'll do another one.
This is that's actually Audible's new division where they do erotic novel readings.
Audible swallow. So Rachel and I were living in suburban New Jersey. This is right after we got married, so this is close to 20 years ago. Yeah. Nope, not going to make that joke. Moving on. It wasn't that bad. I just decided not to say it.
You just don't even want to bother.
I don't want to I don't have time to deal with that shit today. And so we walk outside on our suburban New Jersey street, and a squirrel runs under our car. And I, as we call it, bloop bloop the car. And you know what I mean by that, right?
No.
Unlock it. Right? You press the unlock button,
yes.
and it goes bloop bloop, and we hear the car go bloop bloop, and then dunk. Because apparently the squirrel got so scared by the car noise that it elevated off the ground and slammed its head on the car. And then this dazed squirrel came walking out from under the car because we had scared it so much with the unlocking. It was so funny.
God, head injuries are so fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Bloop, bloop, dunk. That has really stayed with me.
Like, hitting your own head is the worst thing in the world, and maybe the quickest way to get an adult to cry is to just like hit your head on something, and then you have that shocked toddler reaction.
Zero cushion, right?
Where it's not even like it hurts, you're just shocked. But watching it happen to other people and animals is fucking hilarious.
Yeah. It's so crazy to me that like the most important part of your body, the dick, is in this area. In
your skull?
In your skull, yeah. It's like, why would you put the brain in the place that has zero fat cushion? Yeah, okay, you got a nice bone around it.
Yeah.
But like, oh my God, I guess it's been working out pretty well for most people, but still. Oh.
Yeah. The cone heads, really, that would have given us a little bit more cushion in there.
A dystopian future where head injuries are prevalent due to birds carrying coconuts, and everybody is forced to wear giant padded helmets all the time, right?
Right, yes.
Yeah, what's this called?
Well, and the protagonist of this story is a teenager who is about to get sorted into the different types
of helmet societies.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and she bravely chooses to go against the grain and get hit in the head with a coconut on purpose.
And dies. Page 3.
That's actually one of the big young adult dystopia novel series ends with the protagonist unceremoniously dying, which those books are dog shit, but I respect that choice.
Really? Which one?
The Divergent series.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess that is pretty divergent.
Yeah, what's the skull? The coconuts on that. I just like the idea that the ruling class is a bunch of birds with
Yes, that's
coconuts
right.
that they can't
AI
get open,
enhanced
question
sentient
mark?
birds who just fucking love coconuts.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
It's
and how
called,
are you
okay,
gonna
wait, no, I've got it. It's called husk.
Why?
Because of the coconut husk.
Oh, I got it. Bird
Please.
brain.
Bird brain's very good. Okay. Yep. I like that.
Yeah, because if you're in a dystopia, how are you going to get around sentient birds?
You can't. And they've got drones.
Yeah, that look like birds, but also maybe
Yep.
there are some like rebel birds, but you just can't tell because you hear bird song and you're full of fear.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And some of the birds, again, due to AI, have learned to talk, like talk human. And because now there's one human language, of course, it's the future. And some of these birds can speak human and secretly communicate with the humans, but they do it in a way that sounds like birdsong to other birds, but the humans can understand it.
It turns into like a Snow White talking to the forest critters thing,
Yes,
but
100%.
instead of the birds speaking English, it's humans learning. Like you're skilled in the resistance if you can do a perfect bird song to communicate. Like we're being held in an underground bird prison.
That's right. And there's bird terminators. Let's add that to this. Who are coming back from the
Birdminators.
future? Birdinators, who come back from the future to try to stop some bird apocalypse.
Also, their shit is acid, like alien blood.
Yeah, but yummy acid that everybody's walking around with their mouths open. This is the irony, right?
It's mind
Is that-
control acid.
Yeah, coconuts keep falling from the sky. So people want, for survival, you want your face forward. But because of this yummy acid poo, mind control acid poo, you're always like mouth up, open, looking at the sky.
Well, right. And there's a whole, like, the cast of helmet wearers where it's like a bowl where they go around risking their lives to collect the yummy mind control bird shit.
Yes, I like this a lot. Okay, great. And this
then-
is Bird Brain. Yep. Uh-huh.
And the protagonist, there's like a climactic scene where she has like a rock and she's throwing it at the birds after like saving her white straight male love interest. And she,
Yes,
right,
you know what?
at the
I
moment-
accept. I don't even need to audition. I will play this part. Yep.
Of course, yes. Your other leading lady is a 16-year-old girl.
Sounds about right for Hollywood.
And she knocks a bunch of the birds out and then turns to the camera and says, I guess I just took out 10 birds with one stone.
That's very good.
Thank
I
you.
like that a lot. And do you know what happens at the end, the very end of the movie, the final shot is
What?
the first ever bird-human hybrid that's being grown in a lab. And there's some human, like the human rebels are like, this is it. This is the future.
Yeah, and it's not like a person who just have wings. It is like an abomination.
It's like The Fly,
Yeah.
basically, right?
It turns to camera and says, please kill me.
Yeah, and then flies off.
Yes. Yeah, this is
And
great.
then Cronenberg shows up and goes, now that's what I'm talking about. And then he looks right at the camera and goes, the fuck?
See, I saw it coming that time.
Yeah, I figured you did.
Yeah, I think this really works. Bird Brain coming soon. Never.
Yep. Marvel Studios Phase 6.
Yeah, I mean it's riffing on a long history of bird-related terror. The birds.
Yeah, Birdemic.
Birdemic, the bird cage, the scariest of
Box.
them all. Bird Box.
I watched Deadpool and Wolverine. I said Deadpool and Wolverine.
How
over
was
the last
it?
few days? Shockingly, I started watching it thinking, I'm going to fucking hate this. Like,
Right.
hate this. I did not fucking hate it.
I'm shocked. I've lost respect
I-
for you as a person.
Have you seen it? I'm
No.
assuming no, right?
I'm just giving you shit.
It is not good. I mean, it is, as people said, it's barely a movie. But I was surprised at how, not good, but I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would.
Wow, high praise.
Yep. Always great to see that huge jacked man reprise his role as
Hugh
Logan.
Jackman is
He's
pretty good.
he does act huge. He's actually by far the best part of the movie because he's
Of course.
a great actor.
Yeah.
And he actually seems to be somewhat taking it. He's kind of taking it seriously, which is a bold move. You know, he's doing Michael Caine in A Muppet Christmas Carol, where he's like, I'm kind of gonna do this real.
I like that.
Yeah.
I respect that. I haven't watched The Prestige in a long time.
Oh yeah, neither have I. I should see that again. I like Hugh Jackman. He's really good.
I like that
very
movie.
Talented. Yes, that's a good movie.
It's Nolan, right?
Yes, that is.
I don't like a lot of latter day Nolan stuff, but I
Mm-hmm.
do really like The Prestige. I think.
And that's got to be 20 years old at least at this point, right?
Yeah. Like, it's a dumb movie and it knows that it's dumb. It's not like the later ones where it's a dumb movie, but
The Dark Knight Rises. Anybody?
you know, I was telling you about my dreams that I log the other day, and it made me go through my logs of them, and that reminds me of this one exchange that I wrote down from a dream, and I'll just read this exchange to you. So there's like a girl, and she's alone at a fancy restaurant. It's not me. I'm watching this happen. Her face suddenly, a distinctive silhouette appears in the foreground.
This is you are writing down your recollection of a dream you had. That's what this is.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I've done that for years, so I have a big catalog of them. So this girl's sitting at a table, and I'm reading from this now. A distinctive silhouette appears in the foreground, and she lights up. Girl, Vice President Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney. Oh, you love me so much? What 2 stocks went up during my vice presidency? Girl thinking, thoughts spelling out above her head. Shit, I should know this and have feelings about this. I probably lost my job. Then wait, I wasn't old enough. Watches, GDP, Dick Cheney, wrong. The Batman Dark Knight Rises soundtrack and steak.
And steak.
And steak.
That's really great. That's very funny.
I don't know why it was so specific.
It's like shockingly specific.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember something like that. Do you write that down like as soon as you wake up?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's the way to do it.
I have incredibly vivid dreams in very, very high detail. I can read stuff in
Right.
dreams.
Yes, we've
It's not
discussed this.
cool and fun. It fucking sucks. It's exhausting. I wake up every morning exhausted. Like, I have lore. I have seasons of dreams. I have like the same nonsensical locations that I always come back to. It's that's your brain on antidepressants for nearly a decade, kids.
That's wild. The specificity is really insane.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight
The Dark Knight Rises soundtrack and steak.
I would like to think in this, it's not the score. It's like the songs.
Yeah.
You know, that the artists like the, U2, Hold Me, Thrill Me from, was it Batman Forever?
Sure. Yeah.
That sort of thing. We could probably put together a really great playlist, which is that album for the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. You know what I mean? Like, choose existing songs that would have been on the
Counting
Batman
Crows.
compilation album. Yeah.
But it's
Counting
counting
Crows,
bats as
Counting
counting
Bats.
bats.
Yep, that's a good one. It's got to be one like kind of new metal thing, like Puddle of Mud or something. Oh,
Yeah.
Drowning Pool, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor is probably on there.
Nice. I like it. In looking at this Dick Cheney dream, I have another highly specific little snippet in here that might have been from the same dream. This same girl is looking for somebody in a bar and can't find them. And they continue looking for this person at therapy, at the dentist, while having a breakdown, and while stuck on the subway. I'm now reading. A jovial Adam Brody type who is coded as a friend approaches and greets the girl by adjusting his height. Girl,
Wait,
what?
how long ago was this from?
A few years ago.
Okay.
The girl says, what? How did you... Guy. Oh, it's a New York City thing. You can change it at will, but be careful because it's kind of etiquette tricksy and you don't want to do a faux pas. See? And then he gets shorter than her. This is considered friendly, but gets slightly taller. This is like a friendly show of dominance, like kind of cordial, but also stern. Gets taller and pats her head. But this is downright aggressive. And don't even get me started on that shit. Then he points to someone who is like small and inverted / clipped into themselves at a table. The girl says, why not? She approaches this thing and it smacks her in the face with the disembodied foot. The guy, normal height again, told you.
Wow.
Yeah, my brain generates bits even when it's turned off.
I can't even approach this level of dreaming. Like, this is S tier dreaming.
Thank you. This is why I write them down, because they're generally really funny and incredibly violent.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, I think we should move on to segments.
Oh my God.
I know it's early, but I got shit to do. I got a show tonight and I got to fix a flat tire.
It's late and early with Sprampton. Becht.
I was going to say the day man.
Oh.
Yeah, I should go watch that again because it's been a while.
I know. It's one of those ones that...
Speaking of which, Rob McElhenney got cut out, apparently, of Deadpool and Wolverine. He had a bit part. He's in the credits, but he was not in the movie. Yeah.
Very sad.
I know. But our first segment is our pop culture recommendation segment. This is where you get Leighton to talk about something you've been enjoying recently or not enjoying. Sometimes I know in this segment you will talk about things that you've just been experiencing rather than enjoying. And that's fine too. This is as this whole podcast is, this segment is a judgment-free zone. I withhold.
No, it's not.
Was that your dog making another yawning noise?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
So you won't get judged only by my dog.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like to, and this is, I think a thing a lot of people are doing these days, hold space for people's opinions, no matter how wrong, silly, stupid, incorrect, or downright offensive they might be to my particular artistic sensibility. But that's not judgment. That's just respect.
Yes, it is.
So the name of the segment is What's Popping, and the theme song. I said popping. I've never said that before.
That's
weird. I don't know why I said that. I'm so disoriented right now. Hold on, I gotta take more sativa. The name of this segment is What's Poppin', and the theme song goes here.
What's poppin'?
What's poppin'?
You said that like a real guy who smokes a lot of weed.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm definitely a real guy. As evidenced by my tire changing and toilet fixing abilities.
Yeah, look at you. What are you going to do next?
I think I'm going to go break a car in a toilet, but someone else's, so now they have to do it. It's called Pay It Forward.
Well, what's popping with a G for me? Nobody asked, but I'm
Leighton, what's popping?
This is called leaning in. No, I'm leaning in.
Yeah, Sheryl Sandberg, this bitch.
What's popping for me, as we spoke about yesterday, is the animated and canceled Netflix show Inside Job, which I don't like watching animation, but YouTube red-pilled me on this show by showing me clips of the little characters. And
art was meant to be stationary.
Yeah.
That's what you always say.
It's the devil's medium. I'm saying it all the time. But it's really cute and good, and I think it's probably easy to look at it and be like, this is a Rick and Morty ripoff, but actually secretly it's a 30 Rock ripoff. So in that way, it's really great. Very cute and charming in a short little watch, and I highly recommend it. Very funny. Brett Gelman, Andy Daly, and a bunch of other people. Christian Slater. It's from one of the writers on Gravity Falls, and you can tell, you feel it. It's like more grown up Gravity Falls. Mm-hmm. But it's 30 Rock if Liz Lemon was the head of the deep state. So I highly recommend. I think you would like it, Brian. I want to see it. I want to go to there. Exactly. Thanks, Meat Cat. What was I just about to... Anyway, I had a thought that I can't Brian, replicate. What's popping? Well, the thing I wrote down is also something I mentioned yesterday, and I'm reluctant to say it again for fear of treading familiar territory, but why not? You just said this was a no judgment zone.
Well, okay. Well, that's very true. I have been watching Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt on Netflix. Speaking of 30 Rock and Tina Fey and Robert Carlock and that whole group of people, Jeff Richmond. I watched the first 1.5-ish seasons when they were on, and then didn't kind of keep up with it. Just kind of fell off, and I'm watching it again, and it's really fun. I like it a lot. It's there's some great jokes. Titus Burgess is just a revelation. That's the first thing I ever saw him in, and he's just so fucking funny.
30 Rock wasn't the first thing you saw him in? Is Defwan?
Oh, so, I'm sorry. Of course, he's Defwan. Yes,
with Defwan.
This is the first like leading role.
Sure.
I guess I saw him, but yes, of course he was in 30 Rock. You're right. And they're all great. Carol Kane is a fucking legend. I mean, she's so great. Joke density, all that stuff. It's fun, and I really enjoy it. So I recommend people check it out. Especially if you like 30 Rock, it's just a no brainer.
Wow, both of our pop-ins are if you like 30 Rock, check out. I like it.
Yep. I was watching, I forget which episode of 30 Rock it was the other day, but it had a really good deflated Pete moment. And you gotta love when Scott Adsit is deflated and then excited about how deflated he is. That's a good Scott Adsit.
Oh, that's tomorrow. We might all be dead by then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's great. And if you like 30 Rock deflated Scott Adsit, then you'll love Moral Oral.
I knew you were gonna say it.
Unhinged Scott Adsit.
Yep.
We could do a whole what's poppin'. If you like this, then you'll like this. Mm-hmm. That's an episode gimmick, right?
Yeah. We just follow the train where it leads. It's like a game of telephone. Sure.
That's cute. We'll probably never do it. And now it's time for our final segment.
I like to think if you do that, everything ends up at the same place. It's like every chain ends at Malcolm Gladwell's tipping point.
Okay, that is an interesting thought. How to get from point A to point B with only genuine recommendations.
Now that I like.
All roads lead back to
I
Shrek
like
2
this
or whatever.
a lot. It's there's some Wikipedia game like this.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Where it's like, how fast can you get to this page? It's that, but with genuine recommendations. You can't do a bullshit one that you wouldn't stand behind.
I think this is a great idea. We should try. Let's do this on a mini and see how it goes.
Fuck it, let's do a full episode. Sometimes I feel like we waste some of our juice on the mini, which is a great advertisement for the Patreon.
You have no idea how much juice I have in me.
I think I've got a pretty good idea.
You honestly do. Yeah. Because I'm usually sopping wet with juice. Juice is dripping out of me. It's just spilling on the ground, and my shoes are like wet, and I'm walking through all my juice.
Now, I wouldn't know, but what flavor is that juice?
It's cran grape.
Ooh, white grape or regular?
White grape, please. Regular grapes, I'm too good for that shit.
Yeah.
No purple grapes. What are you doing here?
Any juice mix, it's white grape or nothing.
What's the worst juice mix you've ever had?
Ooh.
Mine's cran piss. And I say that as a piss drinker.
Yeah. I would say I can't beat that, but any sort of limeade, in theory, limeade sounds so good, and in practice, it's disgusting.
I generally agree with that, yeah, especially when you start mixing it with stuff.
Like piss.
Yeah, I don't like Pog type stuff. That stuff does nothing for me. It's too much.
Pog?
Pineapple, orange, guava. That's what, when you talk about Pogs, that's why Pogs are called Pogs, because they were on pineapple, orange, guava juice. But they make that
poggers.
as a juice blend. Oh yeah, I think that is pretty good, Poggers. But that juice blend, it's just like, it's too sweet. I don't like it.
That's the guava influence, though. Like pineapple, orange, great. If it's pineapple, orange, mango, love that. I think guava is too, like, when you're eating it straight up, it's okay. I'm not a big fan. But when you put the artificial flavor into something, it's like automatically too sweet because it already kind of tastes like bad artificially sweetened fruit.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm not a fan of anything with papaya juice in it. Papaya has this like musty kind of thing to it that always, it's so off. Every time, like you'll see this papaya and you're like, oh, cool, like tropical fruit, sick. And then you try a little bit of it and it's all, like this, mushy, drippy, sweet thing. And it always has this element of like musk to it, which is like, oh, no.
Yeah.
It's like sickly sweet. Oh, I hate it.
Yeah, that's so true.
I
Wow,
once
we're
was
into the hottest takes here.
I once was in Germany, and there was a street vendor selling papayas. And do you know how you say big in German?
How?
I don't know exactly how to pronounce this, but it's like grosse. It looks like gross with an E. And this big sign said, papayas, extra gross. And I was like, hell yeah, brother. All right.
Yeah, well, papayas are pretty, but they don't live up to the, it's like a star fruit. Like a star fruit seems like it should be the most delicious little video game mana treat. And it's like, this is like eating a lemon.
Oh, Audrey and I were listening. I don't know why this made me think of this. Audrey and I were listening to some podcast about
Joe Rogan Experience.
Well, we listen to Rogan every day. Of course, we have to. It's part of her morning routine. I get her up at 4 a.m. for 3 hours of Rogan, and we were listening to this podcast, and someone was talking about. We were actually listening to The Puzzler, and Faith Saley was the guest, and she was talking about how she made out with Matt Damon in college because they were in college together, and she was like, yeah, I made out with a celebrity. Audrey was like, what's make out? So we talked about it, and then I said, do you know who loves to make out with a celebrity? And she was like, God. Who? And I said, Mommy. And she was like, oh, you're not a celebrity.
I mean, she did walk right into that one.
Yeah, I know. But I like got her. It was so, she's getting smart, so it's hard. Yeah. But
I'm proud of you.
What I did is she's like, you're not a celebrity. I was like, well, I'm like a Z-list celebrity, so, but technically I'm on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, next segment.
All right. Now it's time for our final segment, which is 3 parts gratitude exercise, 1 part petty grousing. The name of the segment is Peaches and Lemons, and the theme song goes right here.
Peaches and Lemons. Peaches and Lemons.
As Miley Cyrus would say, that's a bangers.
With a Z.
With a Z, yep.
Should we update Peaches and Lemons so that it's Peaches and Lemons to be cool and hip?
I see. With the Z. Now I understand. Yeah, that would be very 2025.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, no. It shouldn't be a Z. It should be a Stussy S.
Oh, there we go. Yes, that's exactly what it should be, of course.
Anyway, time for lemons. I will go first. Pew, pew, pew.
Lemon laser.
My lemon is negotiating. I'm bad at it as a people pleaser, doing anything where it's like, I need to be assertive about trying to get the things that I need from this. It's tough when you're kind of a pushover. So that's my lemon.
Remember, the secret, Layden, is to take far less than you're worth and be mad about it, but never tell anyone.
Exactly. I literally bought a book on FBI hostage negotiation. So I was like, I bet I could learn something from
wait,
this.
I think I might know the one. There's a famous one. I forget the guy's name.
Yeah.
Mark something, maybe?
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah. Cool.
What's your lemon?
I already talked about it. Flat tire. I don't need to rehash it. Yeah. Just a pain in the ass. I'll get it dealt with and it'll be fine, but not what I needed to deal with today.
Yeah. I hope that gets remedied quickly and it's just a patch.
I do too, and I think that is the most likely outcome. Not today, Satan. Tire Satan.
Not today, Leighton.
Actually, that's very good.
That's a good segment. I also, in my screenshots that I took in my dream journal, I found a note that I took when we first started this show. Yeah, if anybody has ideas for what that segment should be.
Is that the first time you've said that?
Yeah.
It's really good.
I found a little note that I took when we were planning the first late night live shows before it was a podcast, and it says segment idea, broken vectored. Like a broken record.
Oh, I see. Okay, great.
Vectored.
Yeah. Like that.
That wouldn't need to be a segment. That's like this whole show.
Not today, Layden reminds me of a person I've talked about on the show many times, one of my comedy heroes, Andy Breckman, on his show 7 Second Delay. He has a co-host, station manager Ken, and occasionally, and Andy is basically the comedic, the funny guy, and Ken is more or less the straight guy, more or less. And occasionally Ken will start saying something, and Andy will go, Ken, I will give you $5 to not finish this story. $5 cold hard cash if you stop telling the story right now. It's so he's so funny.
Bribing people to shut up is hilarious.
Yes. All right.
Peaches. I will go through mine quick. Number 1, Thanksgiving was cool. Hear all about it on our latest minisode on our Patreon if you want to get more details about our fun Thanksgiving.
Including some shit talk about Jory.
Yeah, totally. Hardcore.
The J-Man.
Very negative and disparaging shit talk.
Yeah, that you can't hear without paying for it.
Hear about all the terrible words that Brian's daughter called me, but in a funny way. So
but in a funny way. There were words she said you said.
It's
really.
True. But I didn't say all of them, and she needed, if she's going to make that accusation, she needs to spell them correctly. So nice try.
Yeah.
Okay, my second peach is that literally the Dick Dixon spam call is what I wrote down as my
Pretty
second
great.
peach.
It's so good.
It made me happy. And my third peach is it's nice to talk to your friends about your feelings and get support and hear your friends talk about their feelings and support them.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons life is worth living. So that's my third peach.
That's great.
What are your peaches?
My peaches. Peach number 1, I actually have the full final Trey Magnifique holiday EP in hand.
Whoa.
It's got box showed up yesterday with the records and everything in them, and they look so great. They sound great. I'm just excited to have a product in hand.
Yay.
It feels like I made a thing because I made a thing. Peach number 2, so I took Audrey to Palm Springs last week, and I had, the day before Thanksgiving, I was like, God, I gotta get a fucking haircut. And so I just looked up like good barbershops, Palm Springs, and this is kind of a plug. I got my haircut at,
as in hair plugs.
Yeah, well, I guess so. I got my haircut at Daddy's Barbershop in Palm Springs, and it was a great haircut. And
it looked really good. I meant to tell you when we were in person that your hair looked nice.
Thank you very much. I was I think the youngest person there. I think I was probably also the only straight guy there. And it was just an amazing, and I was there early, so there weren't that many people there, but it was just like a fun, welcoming environment. All the stylists are like supporting it. One guy, the guy who's cutting my hair, this dude comes in next to him. This guy's got to be, I'd say maybe 60-ish. He's got big, like gray mane of hair, like pushed back, big yellow glasses. He's wearing kind of like flower prints. And he looks at, my stylist, whose name was Angel, and he was awesome. And he's like, hey, beautiful. And then Angel goes, hey, sexy. And everybody's just like supporting each other and being very friendly and fun. I loved it. The art on the wall was all black and white pictures of very hairy men, mostly a lot of swimming involved.
God, that's amazing.
And it was just great. I got a great haircut and everybody was super nice. And I was just like, this place rules. So Daddy's Barbershop in Palm Springs, highly recommend it. Great haircut and super nice guys. Wow. And my final peach is 4 months I have been. So if I want to volunteer at Audrey's school, because of the LA school system, I have to get a TB test. And yeah, I know. It's like, okay. And this has been like the missing piece because it's like, I don't even really know where to get it. And finally yesterday I go to my local urgent care after like, I was like, okay, I guess I just got to pay for this. Although I didn't think that maybe insurance would anyway. And it turns out that I don't even need a full TB test. They just need to it was like a 5-minute thing where the dude just looks at me. He's like, you think you have TB? Nope. All right, great. Because they're like looking for, it's a risk assessment, not a full scratch test. And it was about to be this whole thing where I had to get the scratch test and then show up in 2 days. And I had already paid the copay, but I was flying out in 2 days. It would have been a whole thing. Like, I finally got the wherewithal to do it, and it wasn't going to happen. And then this guy who works there, he's like, actually, if you're doing it for the school system, they really only need this one thing, which I can do right now, and just got it done. And I was just, I had a moment of despair where I was like, fuck, I thought I was going to be able to cross this off the list. And then I've got my ass saved by a very nice man who's been through this procedure before and just was like, here's your form, here's your, all done.
Wow. Convenient.
Yep.
And now you get to volunteer.
Oh, fuck. I know what my What's Poppin' should have been.
What?
I'm just going to throw in a plug for this right now. Puzzle Boat 11 at Panda P&A magazine is out now. It's a collection of puzzles. People are always curious, like, when I talk about puzzles, what am I talking about? This is a good example of it. Go to Panda magazine and look for Puzzle Boat 11, or just Google Puzzle Boat 11. It's a lot of puzzles. I'm solving it with a little team of mostly other middle-aged men, but including their children. And it's so great. So go to Puzzle Boat 11 as well.
Wow. Amazing. And that's our show.
That is our show. And wow, we kept this one tight after a few really long episodes, like 2 hour pluses with great guests, Miles and George. It's nice to keep this one short. And I'm going to go get a tire changed because I got to do it.
Enjoy.
Oh, I will. I'll hang out at the car shop with all the other guys.
Oh, that's your third thing.
Hey, how's your car
toilet
today, bro? Oh, mine's really fast.
See you next week, everyone.
Bye. Late Night is produced by Brian Wecht and Leighton Gray. Sign up for our Patreon at patreon.com/LeightonNight. Follow us on Twitter at LeightonNight, on Instagram at Leighton_night, or email us at LeightonNight@gmail.com.